Before I begin, hit subscribe if you don't want to miss stories that cut straight to the bone. The evening started routine. I chose my suit with care and watched my wife get ready, her movements bright with an unusual excitement. Tonight she seemed different, her smile broader, her perfume stronger, her eyes holding a sparkle I couldn't place. I told myself she was just happy to be out, a rare break from our steady, predictable life. Later I would learn her excitement had nothing to do with me. We arrived, greeted by friends, the room alive with music and laughter. For a while I let myself relax into it, letting the noise become a thin comfort. My wife drifted through the crowd with easy confidence, laughing, mingling, sipping her drink. I stayed near, watching, but I noticed how often she glanced toward a tall man across the room. At first I dismissed it as casual curiosity. I told myself not to get paranoid. As the night wore on, she grew distant. Her hand slipped from mine more and more. Her eyes darted away, and her laugh grew louder when she spoke to others. Then I saw them, the man she'd been watching, now standing too close, whispering into her ear. She didn't push him away. She leaned in and smiled in a way I hadn't seen aimed at me in months. My stomach sank, but I kept my composure. By midnight, the hall pulsed with dancers and couples swaying, and I couldn't find her. I searched the room, my chest tightening with every empty corner. Then I watched them slip out the back together, her hand brushing his arm. She didn't look back. The shock froze me in place. My wife, the person I trusted, had chosen another man in front of everyone. I could have made a scene, shouted, demanded answers, humiliated her, but instead I chose silence. Anger burned inside me, but I knew cold vengeance was sharper. I shook a few hands, offered small smiles to friends, and left the party alone, my mind already drafting what would come next. The drive home blurred. Every memory of our years replayed, the promises, the sacrifices, the nights I stayed late to build a future for us. She'd thrown it away in a single reckless moment. By the time I reached home, my sadness had hardened into something edged and purposeful. I would not beg. I would not plead. Instead, I decided to let her choices unravel her own life. I began by gathering every important document, financial statements, deeds, shared account details, anything that anchored her to the stability I had built. Humiliated, yes, but I refused to leave her with the comfort of what I'd provided. The next morning I called a lawyer. By dawn, when she crept back in with shoes in hand and guilt already on her face, I was 2 steps ahead. She looked at me as if she expected fury or a dramatic scene. I did not give her that. Calmly I said, "I know where you were and who you were with." Her face drained of color. Excuses tumbled out. I silenced them with a single sentence: "The marriage is over." Her shock at my calmness was almost satisfying. Watching her process it, panic replacing the smugness that had been there hours before, felt like a slow, precise retribution. Over the following weeks I watched her world fray. Mutual friends learned the story not from me directly but from the small truths I let slip into conversations. The respect she once commanded eroded. When divorce papers arrived, she panicked. Suddenly the financial independence she'd assumed was gone. The man she'd left with vanished quickly, leaving her with empty promises and regret. She'd gambled our marriage for a fleeting thrill and lost both. I never raised my voice. I refused to beg, to plead, to bargain for what she'd thrown away. I simply removed myself, and everything I had provided, from the life she'd chosen. Silence spoke louder than any outburst could. I rebuilt slowly, focusing on work, on health, on the friendships that mattered. I learned to measure myself not by the emptiness she left but by the quiet integrity I rebuilt, each bill paid, each early morning run, each honest conversation a small brick in a sturdier life that no betrayal could knock down daily. Each small step forward reminded me I wasn't defined by her betrayal. She, meanwhile, chased ghosts, trying to stitch together a reputation she had torn apart. Months later I saw her in a cafe by chance. She looked diminished, smaller, worn, eyes rimmed with tiredness. She offered me a tentative smile as if reaching for a door that no longer existed. I nodded politely and walked away, leaving her to sit in the wreckage she had made. My revenge had not been loud or dramatic. It had been deliberate, slow, and devastating in its steadiness. I let her choices dismantle what she had built while I moved forward, stronger than before. If this landed with you, consider subscribing. There is power in watching someone rebuild, and sharing that strength helps others do the same. The quiet revenge was the most satisfying, not a scream or a spectacle, but the patient gathering of truth and the steady reclaiming of my life.